Hello and welcome to Stephen Allen Almost Daily, the podcast where I go through some stuff in the news because basically I do it as a podcast anyway, so you might as well live stream it. Boom! Available on YouTube if you're listening to the pre-recorded MP3 podcast version. Subscribe to YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the podcast version. You won't get anything extra, but I think technically that will look like twice as many viewers/listeners. Which reminds me, it's a Friday, so I'm going to go for a run later on. It reminds me, not you don't need to know this, but I need to remember to download my podcast when I go for a run, because that counts as one as well. In the comment section, you can live comment on YouTube and tweet at Mr. Stephen Allen. Proper Memes in the comment section says, had to put a bell notification on your X profile for new posts, and you posted that you're about to go live, so I'm here for the first time before it went live. Yes! That is more dedication than I'm willing to put into watching me and listening to me, and I'm me. And I listen to my own podcast when I go on a run. Nothing slows me down more than hearing me. And because you don't want to set off too early when you're doing running. That's the key, isn't it? They say for running marathons, and I don't run marathons, they say start slow and slow down. And I can do that bit. There was one ages ago, because I did the Couch to 5K app. It's meant to take 9 weeks. It took me, I think it was about 7 years to finally get up to being able to do a 5K in half an hour. Because it builds you up to being able to run for half an hour. But doesn't ever say that, will you get to 5K? And no, I didn't for a long while. So now being able to do a half-hour 5K or a sub-half-hour 5K took me a long while. And there was one bit of the training, like week 8, where I've been through all the different motivational voices, and one of them said, the hardest bit is getting out the door. It's flipping not. No, it's not. I can leave that door all the day long. Sometimes I nip to the shop, and I leave the door and I do that. And it is nowhere near as hard as leaving the door to go for a 5K run. I wonder why. Anyway, so there's the comment sections. Joodle's watching, saying, I've got the YouTube notification. September 9th, almost daily. Oh, no way. So apparently Joodle's got the notification for the YouTube live stream of the one I did on the 9th at 11 p.m. last night. Even if you got it at 11 p.m. on the 9th, it wouldn't have worked. So, oh well, but at least you're here. So thank you for engaging in all of this. Subscribe on social media. It looks like X is the best way to get the pings. I should do a separate Twitter account. That's enough. Actually, before we jump into the front pages, I also not only keep the comments coming, but also want to look at emails. Not that anyone has emailed this podcast. Thanks for that. But the email is me@mrstephenallen.co.uk. But also, when it goes into the same inbox as all my other emails from other email addresses. And I just took a screenshot of one that I got through from Uber, a promotional one from Uber. I'll open the actual email that I can read it, but there on screen is, there you go, I'll move over, there you go. The efforts I'm willing to put in. Kylie Minogue gloves are lost without you. Kylie Minogue's gloves, yep, the real ones, it says here, that she wore all summer on her Tension tour. Firstly, this is up there with selling your bathwater, you dirty little... Here's me gloves, I've not washed them. They're waiting to be discovered by you. The gloves were last seen in an Uber exec while she was riding around London. And now this iconic pair of gloves are lost in an iconic ride. Basically, you request an Uber exec, you might find the gloves. This is some sort of promotional thing, and it's getting me talking about it, which I don't think is the goal. But I will say this. This is the worst advertising I've ever seen that reminds you of one of the worst things about getting in an Uber. You might leave something. So just a little reminder of, stuff that you might lose. You don't stand a chance of getting it back. So there's the promotional stuff. Normally, I'm a big fan of Kylie's work for obvious reasons. Let's take a look at the front pages. Not many front pages today because they cover the same stories, but this one, if you want to see some of my coverage, I didn't get around to writing the Substack about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I talked about it. We were on for a 2-hour show rather than a 1-hour show on the night on GB News. I've been appalled by some of the stuff on Blue Sky. Some people that I know who may be politically of the left, like the Daily Show coverage was exactly right. Left-leaning show, but was like, come on, be serious. You shouldn't be glorifying this. But I know people on Blue Sky. I know people in real life who I think have a terrible take. That's the best way I could put it. Anyway, more on that as I'm talking elsewhere over the weekend. I'll plug me stuff later. For something cheerier, Margot Robbie, from Barbie girl to cheeky girl. You can see her bottom. There you go. That's that news story. I don't know whether she's some red carpet thing. I don't think they've done the new film, but that's the latest news is that she might be in the remake of 50-Foot Woman, which is, it's going to have a certain audience, isn't it? Who like to go there and like, oh, she's 50 foot tall. The same kind of people are like, oh, I'll get some dirty gloves from Kylie. She's been touching her microphone with that. You know what I mean? The people are wrong uns. Front page of the Star, Lineker, I'm never going back to the BBC, says Gary Lineker. Me too. Probably for different reasons. But in a sense, we have a lot in common. Me and Gary Lineker have a lot in common. We're both not going back to the BBC. Him, because he's chosen not to. Mine was a choice, their choice. But when MASH Report was cancelled, I think the BBC aren't going to let me anywhere near them ever again. And we both have a very good, fit body for a 60-year-old. I think he is in his 60s, isn't he? And I'm in my 40s, but I got a good body for a 60-year-old, and that's important. And the Daily Express, weak Starmer under fire for Mandelson fiasco. I still don't know what I can say about this. Tonight on Talk Radio, whatever it's called these days, Talk TV, Plank of the Week goes out. Even I don't know which jokes they've left in, but we're all fairly sure they did not leave in my Mandelson joke. I did not know that it was that offensive. I can't wait to find out. Back to the comment section. Kylie's handiworks is proper memes. I bet that's what they're thinking about, isn't it? And they're on eBay already. What, the gloves? Whoa. Let's get rid of the front pages and go further into the newspapers.
Let's get inside the news.
All right. We can start with... I've got loads of cuttings to get through today. Let's get the camera booted up. If you've not watched this for a while... We've got the new zoomed-in camera. Look at that. Look at that. I can zoom into that table. Oh, the special effects on this are amazing. Having said that, we actually might need the wider shot for this one. Doing housework is good for... The camera's still not plugged in properly, of course. It's still jumping all over the place. Doing housework is good for you, as long as you work up a little sweat. Well, that's not saying much, is it? I mean, I can build up a sweat... tie my shoelaces. I think, again, that's because I've got a great physique for a 60-year-old. But giving floors a scrub or pushing the Hoover for just half an hour. Pushing a Hoover out for half an hour. No carpet left. Just a couple of times a week can lower your blood pressure. This is according to Dr. Nish Manek, who told the BBC... Actually, if you are a doctor, you know there are some surnames that are great for being a doctor. Let's smack this table, the camera will work. Like Dr. Payne is the most obvious one. I think Manek is quite a good one as well. Oh, Manek! Yes? That's got to have happened to him. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, what seems to be the problem? Manek, that's my name. What seems to be the problem? Who's on first? So I had thought of that before when I was prepping this. So apparently it's good for you. There's no way this is good for you. What this is someone who's had a row at home. And I do everything around here. You never do anything with the housework. And then they've gone in and they're like, I'm going to do some flipping research is what I'm going to do. Just so they can go home and they go, there, good for you, that. Stop moaning about it. And I'm sure that's absolutely smoothed things over at home. Sure it has. No, we're not front pages, are we? This is interesting. In entertainment news, here we go. There's Tom Holland. I'll drink to new life. Really glib. Oh, sorry for the state of my nails, by the way. I've been trying to repair one of my headlights on the old car, and I've not done very well. The thing that connected the bulb into the electrics was absolutely gone. So I bought a new one, an H4 fitting thing, connected it, and the bulb's dim. I got some problem with some resistance somewhere. I got a bad feeling it's earthing, so I'm going to take it into the scrappers. Tom Holland says that years of sobriety feel like a brand new identity. The Spider-Man actor, 29, quit drinking in 2022 after noticing how much he missed booze when he was doing Dry January. They don't warn you about that, do they? That doing Dry January, you have a month of not drinking, and then when you miss it, instead of being happy in February, you're like, ugh. I've got a problem here. The most depressing thing for me about this is that all of the films that I think I've seen him in would have been before 2022. Either way, many of the films that he's been in with the ability to do backflips, and it's not even just in the Spider-Man ones where it could be CGI. There's the one where it's about the tsunami where he's in it as a young kid literally just actually doing backflips. I suppose he wasn't drinking them. But that's how he looked before he stopped drinking. I barely drink, and the most annoying thing about that is when my friends stop drinking and they get in shape, and I'm like, no, this is me already not drinking. Ugh. I got nothing else to give up that's going to make me look better. I'm afraid this is as polished as the turd gets. School news. schools failed to notice she was missing. This is a teacher who went on sick leave for 16 years. That's quite a bad condition. Someone really should check in on her. But she was paid her full £48,000 annual salary the whole time because her employees never noticed. It doesn't sound great for her input at work, does it? That she could go and not be noticed. Also, this is a school we're talking about, a place that should be good at taking registers. Do you know what I mean? If ever there's a workplace that's good at seeing who's there, it's the place that famously does registers all the time. But no, she got away with it. The woman who went off in 2009 with chronic illness and psychological problems was supposed to be evaluated by a doctor after 3 months, but it never happened, so just kept getting the money. It's off in Germany, but still, sounds like maybe it's good that she ended up not being near the kids. Here we go. Just need zooming in. There we go. In food news, anyone called Kat, Katie, Catherine, I imagine a Kath would get in there as well. Or Sue, or Susie, Suzette, Susan, I don't know. All close enough. Can get a free curry at Banana Tree to mark National Katsu Day. If you're basically called Kat or Sue, you get free katsu. And I was offended by this because where's my free curry? How am I going to get free food? Oh, my missus said to me earlier, I might qualify for some dim sum. And I didn't know what she meant. Put that to one side until we work it out. Proper Meme says, ironically, I just had to yell at the missus that I'm listening because she started hoovering in the kitchen. Don't stop that. This is Proper Memes in the comment section. Don't. If someone's hoovering the kitchen, you take the win. Trust me, there is nothing I'm going to say in this podcast that is better than a clean kitchen. Drivers in theory fail. Almost all drivers would fail a reset of their theory test, according to a new study. Why do the new study? It was obvious. Of course we would. Of course we would. Because you don't need to do that anymore. Look, yes, I mean, the stats are shocking. 2,000 people were surveyed. They gave them the fake version of the test, and 1,900 failed. And the 100 would be ones who really recently did it. But that's the thing. Your theory test, the only people who are likely to pass it on a reset are people who relatively recently passed their test. New drivers who are statistically not the best drivers. So I don't think you can hold this against us. I'm not sure if I'd fully passed the theory test. I didn't have to do one when I learned to drive. My missus being slightly younger than me, and as we said in the last podcast, not in a weird way where I can't sweat when I go to a Pizza Express, but she got a driving license enough years later that I'm qualified to drive more things than she is. They changed the rules. I am qualified to get the thing actually. It is I'm not going to get it on camera, of course, because that's exactly how to get yourself catfished or catsued or whatever it is. Is that what a catsuit? No, anyway. Where's me? I was about to do a terrible pun. The world doesn't need that pun in it. Oh, that's me donor card. Oh, here we go. Keep that next to my driving licence. That's not a vote of confidence, is it? How safe she driving? Well, my donor card's right next to it. So on the back, I'm qualified. Basically, if you're young, you're qualified to drive a car and a moped, right? Me, I have got all of these things. I can do a DE, whatever a DE is. Oh, they don't tell you on here, but basically, that's a lorry. I can do a flatbed. I can do a car that's got something attached to the back of it. I can't do a bus. Good. I shouldn't be allowed to do it, but I can do a minibus apparently. Why let me anywhere near a minibus? But back in the old days, they let you do that. So it turns out, technically, whilst I might be a terrible driver in terms of failing the theory test, I drive more than anything else because I do stand-up comedy, and it takes longer to get to a gig. For example, I'm up in Bedwell, something like that. It's in Warwickshire. So it'll be a 2 hours drive to be on stage for half an hour to come back for 2 hours. 4 hours driving, half an hour on stage. It's an eightfold double, isn't it? And Malcolm Gladwell said it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert. I am far more expert in driving than I am at comedy, as many people watching this will attest. But also it does mean that if you have to everyone who takes a test, you stop learning, don't you? So as soon as you don't have to be tested on it in the future, like back in the day, when I gained my degree in chemistry, I have not kept up to date. There are now more elements than there were when I did that degree. I've still got the qualification though. You can't take it off me. You can't touch me for it. Back to the comment section. I gave the downstairs a Hoover yesterday, says Proper Memes. Not a euphemism. Good. You and Henry go way back, don't you? Which one's all right? Oh, this one. This one fits in there. Worried Brits have signed up to get their heart checked at home. Thousands have joined a scheme by this online pharmacy, Pharmacy 2U, not Pharmacy 4U, which would have made more sense, to put their cholesterol test. Yeah, I've done this. I don't think I did it through Pharmacy 2U. Some other place sent me a test and I did it. To be honest, I probably should have Googled more about it. The fact that someone sent me through a blood test, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to accidentally flash my driving license on the internet, but I'll do a blood test if you send one through the post. Yeah, have some of that. I got the donor card. Normally they take more than that. But it was great because I did it, bled out from my finger. I did the drops and I did better. Basically, I've got a lower chance of heart failure or whatever it is than people my age normally. I've got a great body for a 6-year-old as well. That was a different test. And yeah, I'm all for this. But that's because every time I've done any of these tests, they're all coming back better than they should be. If you're at home and you do a test and you get some worrying, I don't know, that seems like maybe you wouldn't want to do that. Farage in the news. Nigel Farage has taken expert advice as he faces pressure to explain the tax arrangement for a house owned by his partner. This is in the fallout of Angela Rayner. Hear me talk more about Angela Rayner on Plank of the Week, unless they edit that out, like the Mandelson stuff tonight on Talk TV at 7. But her gaff was she took a name off the deeds of one of the places she sold the house to the trust so that her only house was the one down in Sussex. But technically you can't then get reduced stamp duty. So she was 40 grand shy on the stamp duty and there's a fine involved as well there. But it's all right. She got loads of money because she flogged the house to herself for more money than it was worth or something. And I'm not saying that's illegal because I don't know that it is illegal. I don't know that it's legal. So you never saw that on Location. We'll say that. But meanwhile, we found out that Nigel Farage bought a place but got his missus to buy it. So again, it seems like her first property, so there's less stamp duty on it. The Reform UK leader has said last night that he had bought the home in his constituency in Clacton, but it was later reported that his partner, Laura Ferrari, has made the purchase and made up a name by the looks of it. Is that Laura with the E on the end? Depends if this little thing over it. But is it Laura Ferrari or Laura Ferrari? Either way, that is the name of someone who's quickly having to think up a name whilst looking round as they see a lorry drive past and then a Ferrari. My name, it's Laurie Ferrari. Yeah, no, my middle name is 32 Bus. It's got that vibe to it, hasn't it? Anyway, so we'll find out. I get the feeling it's got it. I think it's not going to be illegal. It's just you've bought her a house. Like in the event of this relationship not going well, she's got a house there. That's what's happened. And finally, this picture of that. And if you're watching listening to the MP3 version it's a picture of a glass of wine, a fizzy wine. Corks are popping at British Vineyard after its bubbly was crowned the best overall over real champagne. Was crowned the best over real champagne. Weird phrase. This French, whatever it's called, Nye Timbers Blanc de Blancs, is the first non-French fizz to be named champion sparkling wine. The West Sussex Vineyard. Because look, it's either global warming means we're going to have a climate like that, or, and this is the take I wanted on it, it's... Sorry, I'll come to that comment in a section. Good one. This is the better way to celebrate being English. Because I think I'm done now with seeing mini roundabouts painted. Flying flags, where I live, they've got the St. George's on some lampposts as you drive down to the motorway. Fine. Yeah, fair enough. They actually don't look bad. The fact that someone's had at some of the municipal bins in the nearby park with a roller, no. You're just painting red crosses on stuff. That's not looking good. Because it's not even like they did it well. They went over it a couple of times and kind of, they didn't stay within the lines. But the mini roundabouts are annoying anyway. You don't want to be synonymous with mini roundabouts. The annoying thing that just makes it slightly tricky to drive, nah. Whereas if you want to celebrate being English with English, can't call it champagne, all you need to do is rename some area in Sussex Champagne, but spell it, SHMPAIN, champagne. And then we could have our own champagne. Bosh. Yeah, look at me coming up with ideas. So that's all the news that we needed to do. Let's try and get rid of all the zoomed-in camera stuff. The comments that I just saw, Joodles said, splutter laugh, it's not Lola Ferrari from Eurotrash, is it? I don't know that it's not. I've never... Oddly, I saw Nigel Farage in person more when I worked on BBC Radio Kent because he'd come in to be interviewed because it was Brexit time. And I don't think I've ever bumped into him because he never goes into the Paddington studio at GB News, and I've only ever once been into the Westminster studio, so we do not overlap. But I've never seen his missus. If it is Lola Ferrari from Eurotrash, good luck to him. He looks like he's the kind of age where I'm not sure he should be lifting that much. Because you put your back out. As long as he remembers to do it with the knees, he might be all right. Other than that, no wonder he had to buy her a house. You need space for them, don't you? Let's have a look in the on YouTubers, not YouTube as well, on X. If you want to get in touch, it's at Mr. Stephen Allen. Subscribe to the YouTube at Mr. Stephen Allen, all the other social medias. I made a list of all the stuff to plug as well. So, weekdays, streaming online, All Hit Radio. It's a radio station that relaunched from the embers, the ashes of the other place. So every weekday from 1, that's a fun one. Plank of the Week on Talk Radio tonight from 7. Then tomorrow morning, I'm in the studio, probably in this shirt, if I'm brutally honest, with Mark Dolan, who's covering Weekend Breakfast. That'll be fun. Kingston tonight, I'm doing stand-up comedy at Crack Comedy. Get down there, I think it starts at 8. Tomorrow, Bedworth, I think it is, in Warwickshire. We'll see how many flags they've got going. And Times Radio tomorrow as well at 5:30. I'll be doing it from this studio because as soon as I'm done, I'm in the car going up to Warwickshire. That's everything I need to plug. Other than the Ko-fi, there's a link if you'd like to send £1 in my general direction every so often. That would be very much appreciated. Ko-fi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen. And I think we've got all the stuff plugged. It can't be right, is it? We managed to... It's the secret of lists, isn't it? Yeah, so have yourself an enjoyable weekend. Next week, probably Tuesday, will be the next time we get to do one of those ones. But until then...
Here comes the news with a twist and